Hi, I'm Lori Belché, and this is Enlightened Talks. On today's show, we get a chance to speak with author and founder of Cognomovement, Bill McKenna. Bill also teaches Secrets of the Masters. So if you are interested in being able to manifest or get those things that you want or release yourself of pain, this would be the class for you. This is going to be a 3-day conference and seminar, and if you are interested, you can go to enlightenings.com for more information. But for now, here is my conversation with Bill McKenna. So today I have here with me Bill McKenna, who is an inventor and founder of Cognomovement. He made the discovery after years of working one-on-one with thousands of people to overcome issues. He holds seminars on consciousness and mind-body connection, and he's an author, a keynote speaker, and appears as a guest on TV and radio talk shows internationally. So I want to welcome Bill here today. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you for having me on.
Great. I'm so glad that we get to talk today and talk about some of the things that you've been able to do for me, just even over the phone, because we haven't been in person to person. We've had a few meetings on Zoom here, like we are today. And I don't know if you want me to talk about some of the things first that you've done for me. So, or do you want to go in first?
Yeah, tell the truth.
Okay.
Let's
talk about these here that are on my face. So now you all see me on Wisdom Wednesday, and you might even be watching Wisdom Wednesday after this, that you'll be tuning in. So let me explain. These are actually this set of glasses. When I do Wisdom Wednesday, I notice they look a little better than my other glasses that I have, but they're actually even a less number. So when I'm doing Wisdom Wednesday, things are a little blurry, but they look better as a visual. So these are a 200 for anybody that knows glasses things, for reading glasses. And my other glasses are a 250. So I'm able to actually wear these and see what I'm reading and see Bill clearly here when I'm doing this Zoom, because he did something with me yesterday. And he worked on that, and you know me, I'm the skeptic. Two things. This is actually the second thing that he's done with me, but I was having trouble seeing, just opening a book, which I've never had problems with my eyesight. I have 20/10 vision normally for far up sight, and I never had to worry about being able to see close with glasses. I never had a problem. Well, over the years, who knows what's been causing it? Bill seems to have gotten to the root of it, because yesterday I was wearing 250, and today I'm wearing 200 for the eyesight, and I can see close here, pretty much a lot less blurry than it was yesterday. I'm still working on some things, but that I will have a chance to work on tonight, and do the rest of it and see if I can clear and get rid of these completely. So do you want me to go into my other story, or do you want to talk about that a little bit, about what you did with me yesterday?
Is it okay that if I share what happened yesterday?
Sure.
Okay. So I love it that everything with Lori has happened quite organically. It's just interesting. We've had these conversations, and she'll say something like, I can't see. I can't, everything's all blurry. I can't see the darn thing. And, and I was like, hey, okay, Lori, would you be willing to try something, as an experiment, right? So what I did is, one of the things I know from experience is that grief, deep, long-seated grief, basically disables your eyesight. You get more and more cloudy and more fuzzy and that sort of thing. And I know that life is just one constant stream of change. So I basically, with Lori, I had her to recognize that, she was born, and then she grew up and she lost her baby teeth, and now she had big teeth, and then she, went to high school and she graduated from that and left that, and then, on to marriage and children and, all these things. But life is a series of changes. And our ability to kind of let go of what's happened and the grief. It could be grief of lost friends, estranged relationships. It could be anything, but it is loss, a loss of a job, and that you've had forever, and that these sorts of things, there is a grief. And for most of us, we all kind of want to push it down, right? It's like, on to the next thing, I'm soldier on, just soldier on and keep going. But when you kind of accept that those experiences and to let them go, as not to be, pining over a loss of any kind, but to let it go completely and to focus your attention on the good stuff that's going on now in your day. It's like that. We went and I had her measure it, a set of cards, right, that she couldn't read. It was all fuzzy. And I said, okay, Nate, I want you to make sure that you see that's how fuzzy it was, and put it on a scale of 1 to 10 and that sort of thing. And she was, I think yesterday she said that we worked on it, and we worked on the big things, and that went, you got a 70% increase, is I believe what you told me yesterday.
Right.
So anyway, the homework assignment on that one is to go through and do it for the rest of her life. All the losses, because we forget about them, where we kind of left our being in a past part of our current life. Right. So anyway, that was the one. That was the most recent one. That was yesterday. But the one last week, I love that. You got to tell that story.
So I have, and as we get older, those of us who have had fillings done, as you start to get older, especially if you had a drill happy dentist, as I did, who, even if you had the tiniest little filling, little cavity, they drilled it way out, and that's what they did. And that happened when I was about maybe 18. I had my first cavity, which really wasn't a cavity. It was probably a stain, but money is money to dentists. So they drilled. And now that I've become older, that those teeth, they start to get weak in the back, because those are the ones that you chew on. Well, a little bit of the tooth cracked off, and it was starting to hurt. And I noticed I was getting sensitivity on the one side here. And I thought, I don't want to have a root canal. I'm trying to keep this as sensitive free as I can. I started to notice that heat didn't bother it, but cold or even sucking air through my teeth was just, it was becoming unbearable. And I go, oh, I do not want to go to the dentist. Anything to not go to the dentist. And so I just happened to be on the phone with Bill, and I was telling him, you had asked me, and I'm trying to remember what the conversation was, but I do remember you said, do you have any problems with your teeth? Because I was saying about something, and I said, as a matter of fact, I do. I said, I've got a sensitive tooth. And I said, I noticed I can't even drink, even if I try to rinse my mouth after brushing my teeth or eating an ice cream bar, it was bothering me that I couldn't even chew on that side because the cold sensitivity was just so much. And you went through again something with me, and then I was here at the shop, and you said to me, do you have an ice cream bar at the shop? I said, sadly, yes, I do. And so I went in the back, and I was eating the ice cream bar, and John had come from the front and said, why are you eating ice cream? I said, because Bill told me to. And it was just so funny. And I couldn't believe that I could eat on it again. I had no pain after doing what you told me to do. So I don't know if you want to go into that and let people know what it was and how that worked. But that was the really funny one.
So this is that was wonderful. So this is part of one of the many things that I teach in my seminars. I call it the secrets of the masters, because they are things that I have learned from the many masters that I've been able to study with and work with. And this one in particular I love is it's extraordinarily simple. And once you kind of You don't even have to understand anything. You can do this. I'm going to teach you how to do this right now on the air. You don't have to understand the inner workings of it. I get into it in my seminars. But so if you, I'm sure someone who's going to watch this is going to say, oh my gosh, yes, it hurts, or wherever, right? They've got some sort of mouth pain, teeth pain situation. I want you to, all you do is you merely close your eyes, you take the tip of your tongue and put it onto that tooth. Put that thing on a scale of 1 to 10. I think with you, Lori, yours was like a 7 or something, on a 7 or something like that on a scale of 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what you do is put it on a scale of 1 to 10 because you want to really get a good reading of what that is, right? And now simply ask either to see or to, have an understanding of who do I need to forgive that's associated with this tooth. And then completely forgive them. I know you don't want to, but as an experiment, as I always say, as an experiment, completely forgive them. And you can go back to your resentment at a later time, but for now, just simply completely forgive them. And hold that complete letting go and forgiveness, and then just take a breath, and then put your tongue back there again and see where it is, 1 to 10. Ask to see or know who's the next person that you need to forgive that's associated with this. Oftentimes people will say, I see nothing, but the understanding they got is, it's me. I need to forgive me. So do that. You were doing the best you could at the time. Everybody is doing the best that they could in every moment. You might have lust, greed, resentment, whatever, fear, but you were doing the best you could at that moment in time, and now you know better. So this is something else that I kind of get into in great detail in the seminars, is to have new understandings. But take a breath. Now do it again. Who else do I need to? Now put this thing, when you get done, you put this thing on a scale of 1 to 10. And what happens is it goes just as Lori's did. It went from a 7 down to like a 3. And then, okay, Lori, who else is it? Okay, then it went down to a 2. Okay, Lori, who else is it? Right down to a 0.
Right.
So anyway, that's how that works, and that's a little gift for watching this video. How to do things.
How to.
And, yeah.
It's interesting because I'll tell you. Do you want me to tell I had another experience with you a while ago. Do you want to get into that one?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So, and some of you may remember when I was on the radio station here, I had a show, and I ended up with a problem. I had a problem with my foot walking. It was bothering me. My heel was bothering me. I didn't know what was going on. I was trying everything. And Bill tried a few things with me, but he had me do some interesting, he had me drinking water. I remember that. And doing something, again, this was over FaceTime, actually, I think, at my house. And I had been wearing one of those little boots to keep the foot working, and I couldn't even walk on it at the point. I remember you had just happened to call us, and you had me going through this whole thing, and then you had me walking on that foot with no pain. And it was about maybe 10 minutes, not even that long. And I thought, how is this happening? I couldn't even walk on this foot. I was hopping around on it. So maybe you want to get into exactly what we did there, or just talk about it a little bit and then talk about whatever you need to.
Well, that was interesting. So I don't know, maybe if your users had seen me on Gaia.com, I did an hour interview related to that. And basically, if I was to distill it to its essence, is that um, if I can see your perfection and I don't want anything from you and I'm not afraid of anything, then what happens is you will conform to that. So it's basically the same teachings as Jesus, but things got kind of a little bit distorted back in the day. And so people don't understand what he was really saying. But his message was unconditional love, which is love that's unattached to an outcome.
Right.
And he also talked about seeing the perfection of others. So there was an Aramaic word, I think it's basem. In the Bible, it talked about, and I'm not studying that stuff, but basically, the word basem could be interpreted two ways. So, ask for things in my name could also be interpreted as ask in my method, not in my name.
Okay.
So the simple changing of that, and that makes perfect logical sense, right? Do my method. That just, well, if you do my method, hammer a nail or plug in a TV, do my method, plug in the TV, right? It's that just makes a lot of sense. And what was his method? Unconditional love, see the perfection, don't fear. And anyway, this is another thing that not only I teach and in the Secrets of the Master seminar, but the cool thing is that it's not about learning it conceptually. It's about actually doing it.
Right.
It was really neat. In my last seminar that we had in San Diego, California, we were able to video conference several people at the Enlightening store, and one by one, my students went through and healed each one of the people that was at Enlightenings who they invited in who had problems. I mean, maybe you could talk about that in your experience, because you were on the other side. I was in California, but each student learned it and could actually demonstrate it even 3,000 miles away. So go ahead. Maybe you could say what happened.
So Bill had called us and asked us if we could if anybody here was interested in having a distance healing done, because he had some students who he had just trained and he wanted to do something that was distant. Well, that's totally distant. You're all the way in San Diego and we're all the way here in Massachusetts. That's about as far as you can get unless we go to Maine. Okay. So we did that. He called us up on Zoom, as a matter of fact, and I had people here in the shop, and they were interested in getting, some had physical, some had mental, some had emotional healing, and each one of the students went through and did this healing and received this here and could feel the difference, because Bill was here facilitating as well, and even the students would ask, what are you getting on a scale? What is your issue on a scale of 1 to 10? And we brought it down, and people could feel. The one thing that they were telling me afterwards was that it felt like whatever was wrong with them was draining out of them, whether it was draining by their feet, by through one of the chakras. They were feeling this change. They couldn't believe it themselves. And it was so amazing to watch. And you see some of it here, as in the video, as you could see somebody was going through some emotional, and some things would get stuck, and you would walk through it with them, even Bill, and saying, having them release that and try to find a way to letting that go. And they were finding a way to release it. It will get stuck in certain chakras, and it's working through that and releasing it. And that actually even happened to me yesterday when we had done the eye thing, where it seemed to have gotten stuck right here in back of that sinus, and letting that go. I could feel it pulling up and going up into this tiny little little circle, and then it went boop right out the head, and I went, oh my gosh, I that's what I feel that a lot of them, somebody had explained it to that effect, that it was doing the same thing. Some people feeling it draining out of their feet. So why does my question to you is what causes it to go one way or another? Is it just the way that they release themselves, or how does that work?
So some of the most dramatic, episodes I've had with that are with Cognomovement. Now, I'll just tell you a little bit about this, and I can answer that with this. So, part of what I do is I figured something out. I figured out that a way that your physical body, this is in addition to the other secrets of the masters, but I figured out a way that with a physical exercise, you can release the most horrific events of life. And that's everything: grief, guilt, resentment, blame, you name it. And your boss, coworkers, people doing things, your relatives who you can't get away from, maybe a husband or wife, and imagine that you just don't feel that way anymore. Like, it's not like I'm trying, like be stronger than this or that. It's like you literally don't feel it. They're doing that thing, but you don't feel squat, So what I discovered is that a physical exercise that is what we call bilateral, meaning it's a cross body, and it combined with a focus. You focus on an issue like the wife, the husband, the coworker, whatever, and ends up that you don't have to do anything else. It just literally releases, and it'll release going up or down. It just doesn't seem to, I don't have a logic as to why. Sometimes I know that it's releasing that way because there's a block. There's a block somewhere else and it just can't go. So it goes down instead of, or it goes out the hands. But one of the things the discovery is that the ball, I know that three-dimensional objects are recognized by the right side of the brain. The left side of the brain recognizes colors and symbols. And also, every particular area that you're in, meaning, for example, if your eyes are down, they're connected with the emotions. If your eyes are up, they're connected with visual remembering, for example, or visual creation. And there's an auditory in a different position. So you have kind of kinesthetic, audio, visual, so on, so on and so forth. The different aspects that you experience life through are associated with different eye positions. So as we're changing positions, as we go, you're activating a tremendous amount of your brain that you would never start activating otherwise. I got both hemispheres going, and every time you cross across the center line of your body, it makes data cross from left brain to right brain. So you're getting a massive amount of activity. So the concert of these things is, when done to protocol, 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, it's like, oh my gosh, it's gone. I don't know where it went, but I just lost. I call it emotional amnesia. Mm-hmm. It also amazingly works on cravings. So you name it, whatever cravings you're having, if you do this exercise, let's say, it doesn't matter what it is, but you imagine, it's unlike, my discovery here is that it's the opposite. Right now, everybody is like, you got to be stronger than the chocolate cake. You know, you got to willpower this thing. You're not strong. You know what it is? You got to be strong. And right?
Right,
And
right.
it's the opposite. Imagine you're enjoying the chocolate cake. Absolutely. It's the best chocolate cake of your life. The smell, the crunch, maybe it's got a crunch in there, taste, everything about it, what you hear, what you see, what you smell, taste, and how it makes you feel. You imagine you're just in it, enjoying it, and you do the exercise. And the amazing thing that happens is that you have this sensation in your body, and it goes up, it goes down, and then it's gone. You literally like, the craving, it goes from let's say a 10 to a 5 to 4, 3, 0. It goes down. And the next time you go to taste the thing, it's like, you know, who made the chocolate cake today? You know, it's a Nestle's Crunch Bar. It's the same every day. But all of a sudden, it's like, it's somebody who's at the factory today. I don't know. So it's like that. But anyway, that is part of our seminar that we have upcoming at your store here,
yes.
Next month on the 13th. What is it? I think the
15th,
16th, 17th, 17th. Yeah. So we have 3 days of intensive with our seminar. That not only do you become a certified practitioner with this, and part of that is you actually do the work. I tell everybody, come in, make a list of all of your worst things physically and emotionally. Take both of those things. I want both of those. And then the last thing is what you want to make, what you want to manifest. So these 3 sections is what you come into the seminar with. And we go through and knock all of those out. Mm-hmm. And then we go into creation. And we have wonderful stories, people getting married afterward, people, not only everything no longer that was an issue for them is gone, but for example, manifesting a new car, or manifesting a new job, relationships. I have to tell you, there was an 80-year-old woman who came to the last seminar, and she had a very large family. And there's a lot of, dysfunction and like infighting in large families. If you're, Irish Catholics, they're
Portuguese,
right?
Yeah,
Portuguese, Italian, we're all the same, right? Right? We can hold grudges like crazy, right?
Yes.
Right? I'll take it to my grave. I'll dance on the jig on your grave. But her vision, this woman, her vision was to have her whole family together and to have harmony. And afterwards, she says, she came back and she says, I don't know what the heck's going on. All of a sudden, everybody's calling and everybody is getting together, having parties together. All the people that were, protagonists with each other, they're like, fine. And they're all together with her. So it's anyway, amazing, unexplainable things happen when you go to one of these events. It's intense. I'm not going to lie to you. You learn not only kind of amazing stuff, but your life changes as well, because you are no longer the same person when you leave this. The things that you've suffered with all your life, a 60-year problem, 50-year problem, these big problems that you suffered with forever and had no way out, it's gone. And what people are amazed by is that at the seminar, nobody has to say squat. They just do the exercise. I say, focus on the issue and do the exercise. And just, you don't have to tell the story of, hey, this horrible thing happened to me when I was a child and it's so embarrassing and I don't even want to tell anybody. You don't tell anything. You just do the exercise and boom, 5 minutes later, gone. So anyway, that's what we do, and I'm very excited about coming and actually getting to physically, be on site and share. It's going to be mind blowing. People are going to really have a good time.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait. I can tell you that this is one of the things that I've been trying to manifest ever since we met you. I kept telling John, we need to get Bill here. There is something that will happen when Bill gets here. It's going to be expand. It's going to help expand. It's going to help people understand that there's another way to get at your issues and the problems that you have. We have the balls here at the shop. We have both the soccer ball style and the beach ball style that people can deal with. That you do the beach ball, it can be used with younger kids. It's a lot easier because it's something that even if it gets thrown, it's not going to knock things or break things as much. And it's a little bit easier too for kids who are younger to be able to catch a larger ball, I'm assuming. So have you had success also working with that? Have you tried any kids with this, or have you done a chance with that?
Gosh, so here's what a lot of people don't understand. At least I didn't. Is that children that are on the spectrum, they have a tremendous amount of stress, and stress it's left brain activity, and what we do is we force right brain activity. We force a much broader spectrum of activity, so it brings down the stress of children, right? Even if you're a kid that's not on the spectrum, it brings your stress way down and helps your focus. So we exciting news. I guess I haven't, but we now have 2 public schools in Los Angeles that are doing. One is specifically for kids on the spectrum and behavioral issues. Another one is just all 6 grades in a elementary, a public elementary, and we have another one in Oregon that's doing this. So we teach what we do, and this is part of the program that I teach, because as for the children that you work with, we teach how to do it in a group where very, very quickly it gets all the kids balanced, left-right brain activity, and calmed down. And now what's happening in the schools is the kids he says that the feedback from the teachers is that in the grades that started using it is the other teachers are saying, you just had an easy class this year. I don't know what's going on over there, but I can't wait to get to class, your class, because that's an easy class. Well, it's an easy class because, they are doing things very different, right? They are forcing them to use a higher percentage of their brain. And so we teach this as part of the curriculum that you'd learn over those 3 days when we're at your place. We also, amazingly, part of it is athletic performance. So people that we've proven this out, you can't do a yoga pose or something like that. Just a couple minutes, they do the exercise, and this is very, very quick. It's only 2 minutes, maybe, or 1 minute. And now they can actually do the yoga pose, or basketball players, on average, just 2 minutes and that much higher jump in 2 minutes. Pull-ups, about 30% better, all kinds of things. I mean, it's crazy.
I can tell you, I think you had told me about this before, and we tried it because my youngest daughter could not do a push-up. So I had the ball, and we did it. I said, I kept telling her, focus on the issue, and doing that and dealing with it. And she was skeptical. She was afraid that I can't do a push-up. I can't do a push-up. I don't have any arm strength. And we did the ball for a few little things going back and forth. And lo and behold, she got on the floor. And her face she was in shock that she could do it. I said, see, there you go, Jillian. That's what happens. So it does work. I can tell you that firsthand. We watched her do it.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing, and people are utilizing it in competitive sports now too.
So
So
the people to take this particular 3-day course that you will be doing here at Enlightenings, the ones who the best people to reach out to are the ones who really should be looking into this. Maybe it could be the athletic director in town, or somebody, gym teacher, or somebody who deals with also the kids who are on the spectrum, kids who are in the special needs programs. Another way of looking at it, or even any of the teachers.
any teacher, because any teacher is going to really benefit uh, from helping. Um, uh, Also, counselors.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have many counselors, therapists that are doing it because nobody has to talk, and within 5 minutes the thing is gone. They're not having to do all these sessions to get the results. They can move on from there. There's other things to work on besides the super like hard thing, right, that they keep coming back for.
Well, so we're excited for you to be here and come to do this class. So if you're interested in this particular course that's going to be here, it's going to be November 15th, 16th, and 17th. Bill will be here. It'll be 3 intensive days, right, Bill?
Yes.
And if you're interested, there is the link here that you'll be able to click on, or you can go to Enlightening's website, enlightenings.com. Right there on the front, one of the slider things, there'll be information all about, and you can actually register for the class, and you'll get to meet Bill here, and Liz. Liz will be coming too. She'll be one of the an additional trainer.
Yes.
And there might even be somebody from your previous class here as well, as from what I hear, who took the class out in San Diego, who was one of the ones that were doing the distance healing. Amazing. That woman came in here yesterday, and she just blew my mind. And but I'm just so excited for this to happen, and for you to come and get to see Massachusetts. I don't know if you've ever been here, but
Oh, I've been there a lot.
you've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
here,
But
so you'll get to see down here in our little shop here and what we do and some of the things that go on. And if you're interested, like I said, if you're interested, uh, register for this class. You will not be sorry. You will get so much out of this, even more than you expected, and you'll be able to help others as well when you're done. Correct?
yes, and the one of the things we really didn't talk, well, we shared the actual experiences you had,
Mm-hmm.
but the best way I can put this is that I've had the good fortune of um, learning from many masters some wonderful things. And so what I do is these are things that really nobody knows. And so one of my missions is to share this with the world, and to help to unblock people, and understand some of their gifts that they have. They didn't know they had. So I expose, just like we did today. You learned, if you watch this video, you learned a few good new things. So I look forward to sharing many more with you.
Thank you, Bill. Well, it's been great having you on to talk about what it is that you do, and we look forward to seeing you here. But until next time, this is Lori Belché here with Bill McKenna for Enlightened Talks. We'll see you again.
Thank you.